Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, beautiful people. It is so very good to be here with you as we gather together to celebrate the magnificence and significance of the presence and power of God operating in, through, and as you, operating in, through, and as each and every one of us. We will begin with a reading today from the Daily Word, and we will take that reading into our opening prayer. The word today is glory, and the affirmation, I am blessed to be part of the glory of God. I am a spiritual being, a glorious expression of God. As I live more fully into my divine nature, I better recognize my unity with life. Looking around me, I see the beautiful diversity of humanity. I also appreciate the vast variety of creatures on earth. Whether of earth, sky, or water, all creatures are glorious components of the universe. I give thanks for each one. I turn my attention inward. The glory of God within me is an inner kingdom where beautiful and loving thoughts live, kindness, warm memories, inspired motivation, and peace. As I bring my attention to the realm of my consciousness, I create within me a world of majesty, splendor, and wonder that I also find in the world around me. As I do, I discover the glory of God everywhere. And again, the affirmation, I am blessed to be part of the glory of God. So I invite you right here and right now to get still and close your eyes as we move on up a little higher, remembering and recognizing that prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. And so right here and right now, as we close our eyes, we see more clearly. I invite you right here and right now to take a breath in, breathe in peace to your mind, and breathe out peace to the world. Breathe in love to your mind, and breathe out love to the world. Breathe in healing to your mind, and breathe out healing to the world. I loose the world of all I thought it was, and I go free, and I set this world free. There is only one mind, only one power, only one presence that is working in all, through all, and as all. There is one life, substance, and intelligence. That life is Mother, Father, God. That life is perfect, whole, and complete. That life is my life now. That intelligence is my life now. That substance is my life now. That life is your life now. That substance is your life now. That intelligence is your life now. That wisdom is your life now. And it is right here and right now. It is all life. It is every expression of life. At every manifested level of being that we know and cannot know. It is the manifestation of the intergalactic planetary life. It is the manifestation of the aquatic life. It is the manifestation of the human life. It is the manifestation of the insect's life. It is the manifestation of all. All life is God. All life is consciousness. God is all there is and all there will ever be. And so I know that the power and presence that I recognize, the power and presence that I am referring to, the power and presence that I am putting the focus of my attention on right here and now, neither comes nor goes. There is no spot where God is not. That means that where I am right now, all of God is with me, within me, and around me. It means that where you are right here and right now, all of God is with you, within you, and around you. All of God, whatever you need God to be, whatever I need God to be, whatever I desire God to be, whatever you desire God to be, all of it is present and available within you, and all around you. And as I recognize this truth, I remember that we live, move, and have our being in God, for we are one with God and one of God. We are God's good idea. And as I live in the reality of knowing this oneness, I live in the recognition that we are divine. I live in the recognition that we are not our mistakes. I live in the recognition that we are not our errors. I live in the recognition that we are powerful beyond measure. I live in the recognition that we are filled with great possibility. I live in the recognition that we are worthy. I live in the recognition that we are holy. And so it is out of this worthiness, it is out of this sinlessness, it is out of this recognition of our holiness knowing who and whose we are, that I speak this word of faith right here and right now. I am so grateful and thankful for this weekend service. I am so grateful and thankful for Celebration Spiritual Center. So grateful and thankful for the opportunity to remember the truth of who and whose we are, to tell the truth of who and whose we are, and then to live from that truth and transform our world. So I speak the truth right here and right now, speaking the truth of our worthiness, speaking the truth of our holiness, speaking the truth of our infinite possibility. I speak the truth right here and right now and say that we are prosperous. I speak the truth right here and right now and say that we are healed. I speak the truth right here and right now and say that we are experiencing miracles upon miracles upon miracles, blessings upon blessings upon blessings, answered prayers upon answered prayers upon answered prayers. All doors are open and all channels are free. The whole wide world says yes to us. We are blessed. We are enriched by the rich avenues of substance. We are blessed. We are enriched by the rich avenues of this thing that I choose to call Mother, Father, God. So as we gather together, I know that we will leave here better and better and better than when we walked in. As we gather together today, I know that we will prosper and continue to prosper. I know that this gathering is enlightening and enlivening, so we must be enlightened and enlivened. And we will take this into our lives. We will take this into our week. We will take this into our world and prosper and prosper and prosper. So with joy and thanksgiving, I now release this prayer. I release it back into the law, which is always in operation, responding and becoming according to the pattern of thought that we provide. This pattern of thought, it is life-giving, life-supporting, healing, and constructive, so it must be. With confidence now, we lift up our voices and we say, amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
So it is.
So it is. So it is. Well, hello, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. Again, it is so wonderful to be here with you. I'm Pastor Greg.
I'm Pastor Yolanda.
And of course, we are the pastors and co-founders of Celebration Spiritual Center. Happy to be here with you. Happy to be in this weekend service with you and continue to support, lead, and guide you all into the truth of who you are, so that you can practice that, so that you can embody that, so that you can integrate that, live from it, think from it, and prosper from it. If you are a first-time guest, hello, welcome. We're so happy that something or someone brought you to this live stream today. And we're confident that something will be said, something will be done that will support you in living an empowered life and thriving in your life, not just in this week, but throughout your life. Now, as a first-time guest, we would love to stay in touch with you. And of course, this is how you may want to get in touch with us. And so this is how you do that, by accessing your digital connection card. Just text the keyword there you see on the screen, welcome, to 347-472-1078. You'll receive an automated reply with a link. Click that link, enter your information. We just need your name and your email address. You'll be added to our mailing list. You'll receive our weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday. And then you'll receive other correspondence that we send out to the community. And of course, you can reply to any of those messages so that you can get in touch with us. But again, we're confident that something will be done or said today that will empower you, that will support you in thriving in your life. We love to say the first time you come to CSC, you're a guest. When you come back, your family. So we welcome you to the CSC family. You can feel free to shout yourself out in the comments as you see others have done, letting us know where they're connecting in from. And so you can let us know what city, state, country you happen to be connected in from. You may find that there is someone in your same location that is connected right here and right now. So from this place of awareness, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to move forward with our news and updates so that we can get into the meditation, the music, and the message. Our hearts, our minds, and our prayers are with Jamaica. Yes. You know, the way the news cycle works, you would think that happened a long time ago, but it's still very recent. And of course, our dear sisters and brothers, our human family in Jamaica, are moving through the process of recovery. CSC is contributing financially to the recovery efforts. And as I shared last week, we sent out an email. That email went out yesterday with specific information on how you can individually support the recovery efforts as you see fit. There's wonderful information there. You can give monetarily if you'd like, but also there's information on how, if you want to shop online, There's an address to send those things to. And there are also drop-off locations. There are drop-off locations here in New York. There are drop-off locations in D.C. There are drop-off locations in Georgia, in the Atlanta area. And there are also drop-off locations in South Florida. So this kind of hits in person, right, if you want to drop things off. But wonderfully, the foundation that we highlighted, they also have a address where you can shop online and send those things there. There's a list of what the most pertinent items are that are needed right now. So please check that email, check that out, and whatever feels good to you, whatever fits your desire, and of course your budget, by all means, please do that. Every third Sunday is God Talk Sunday. That means the next Sunday is the God Talk Sunday. What is the God Talk? The God Talk is your opportunity to ask questions. The God Talk is your opportunity to grow. It is really an opportunity for spiritual growth. What PY and I understood as we were co-creating CSC is that there needed to be a space for questions, right? Now, the format of a service doesn't necessarily allow for that. And so we wanted to have a once a month forum where someone could ask questions about something that we say in a message or in the meditation or in the music, something you may have read in terms of New Thought, metaphysical principles. Also, we recognize that as you are walking this path, and particularly if you're newer to this path, you will have a host of questions, right? As you're trying to reconcile certain things, as you are realizing that you may have to let go of some things you believed in the past, but how does it all fit together? We're here to support you in that. You're not alone and you don't have to figure it out by yourself, right? That's why we're here. Additionally, as you walk this path, you just want to know, how do you apply the principles to a specific thing that's going on in your life? You may feel challenged. You may feel stuck. And so we're here to support you in that. The God Talk is not spiritual counseling, and it's not a replacement for therapy, but it is a wonderful way to learn how to directly apply New Thought metaphysical principles to the real events and experiences of your life. In order to ask the question, you got to be in the space. We gather together on Zoom. The Zoom link and passcode is shared in our weekly newsletter every Friday, and the information is also available in the Church Center app. We'll share how to access the Church Center app in just a moment. Every fourth Sunday is Healing Sunday. We're looking forward to our next Healing Sunday. Every fourth Sunday, we hold a specific prayer treatment for healing. Prayer works. It is working at CSC. Healing is available, and it is happening at CSC. And we continue to share so many wonderful stories from within the community of how healing is showing up in your bodies, in your minds, in your lives, in your affairs. And so we're so grateful to continue to hold the high watch, to continue to hold this absolute knowing. And it is beautiful to see the ways in which it is outpouring and outpicturing in, through, and as your own lives. Be there, invite someone to join us for that Sunday, because again, it's working. On the fourth Sunday of this month, we are holding a specific, I wouldn't say special, but free workshop. As we announced last week, we are relocating to Barbados, and this is the demonstration of a dream. And we recognize that all of us have dreams. We recognize that you have something maybe that you have even put aside that you thought was too big, or you can't do, or you've talked yourself out of all the reasons why that might not be possible. And so what we want to do is break down for you the process, because this is absolutely a powerful demonstration. It is a prosperity report. And as leaders of this organization, it is always within our hearts and minds to continue to empower each and every one of you to do the same that we do, manifesting whatever the dream is for you, demonstrating whatever the dream is for you. So you can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/register, to register for this workshop, or you can scan the QR code that'll take you directly to the registration page. We're looking forward to it. Again, that's going to be on the fourth Sunday, November 23rd at 1 p.m. Our study series of the month is This Is Not a Test. Unfortunately, so many people have a belief that God is testing them, have adopted and embraced that belief because somebody told them that God is testing them, or God is punishing them, or Sometimes God rewards and sometimes God punishes. But the truth of life, the truth is that this is not a test. The truth is that God does not test anyone. The truth is that God does not reward or punish because God is not a human being, right? And so we tend to make God in our image rather than understanding who and what God really is. So if you find yourself struggling with those types of thoughts, this series that taught by myself and PY will absolutely support you in breaking that idea and establishing a new idea about who and what God is. On Wednesday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we come together for the Momentum Prayer Call. In the Momentum Prayer Call, we do just as we opened our service today. We share a reading and we pray. And then we move on with our day. This is a powerful, powerful opportunity to continue the momentum that we create here on Sunday. It is also a powerful opportunity to create momentum for yourself at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the week. As I love to always say, God within you is paying attention to what you're paying attention to. And so by bringing the focus of our attention here with prayer, then we're guaranteeing that our lives and our day will reflect where we have put the focus of our attention. Now, if you're unable to make the call live, every prayer is recorded. So you can use the playback number that you see there on your screen, enter the access code, and the most recent prayer will play. That's available to you 24/7. So anytime you want to access the power of prayer, by all means, keep this in your phone. Anytime you feel yourself in fear, doubt, and worry, anytime you feel yourself needing clarity, prayer changes things because prayer changes you, right? So come to the prayer and then make a choice, make a decision, move forward with your day and with your life. If you have a prayer request, you can send that prayer request in to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. We are always holding the highest and best knowing for each and every soul that is connected to CSC around the globe. And we recognize that you may have a specific prayer request, or you may want to submit the name of someone else for that prayer request. All good. Again, send it to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. We also encourage you to let us know how your prayer has been answered. When you have a prosperity report, when you experience a miracle, when you experience a shift, let us know how prayer is working in, through, and as your lives. You can send it to that same email address. We know that prayer works, and it is always exciting to see how it's working in, through, and as you. No distractions, no algorithm, just connection. There was a post in the group on Church Center just yesterday, sharing how good it feels to be able to come to an app and not be inundated with the ads and all of the things and the ways in which social media triggers our nervous system and overwhelms our nervous system. And that's what the Church Center app and the CSC Live group is all about. It's a way for all of us to connect outside of Sunday, outside of the live stream. It is also a way for us to connect with like-minded souls and reconnect with the truth. It's a space to hear how and read how prosperity is showing up in the lives of the community. And so you can go to that URL you see on your screen, celebrationsc.churchcenter.com/setup, or you can scan this QR code, or you can just go directly to the App Store, the Google Play Store, and download the Church Center app. Once you've downloaded the app, then log in, join the CSC Live group, say hello, and of course, you will receive notifications as we post things. This is also a way for you to connect with PY and myself. Finally, we encourage you to invite someone to the live stream. Let them know about this good thing that is happening on every Sunday, and of course is available 24/7 through the recordings. Send them a link to the recording. Send them a link to a meditation or the music. Let them know what CSC is all about, and then invite them to join us here live. We are always looking for those that are looking for us. And so from this place of awareness, we are complete with our news and updates, which means this is our opportunity now to go within as we will be led in the meditation experience with PY.
Ah, yes, yes. It is time for the meditation experience. The word experience is intentional. It was something that we decided before day one because we understand that it is only through your direct experience of the God within yourself for yourself that you even know the things you're reading are true. You may have inundated yourself and read and studied, and that's great. We encourage that, obviously. But without that experience, direct experience, it is only information, good information, but we want you to have a solid foundation, a solid connection to the God within yourself, whatever you call that God, for yourself. And so it's easy to close your eyes, remember the truth, and feel the presence alive within you. As PG said this morning, there is no spot where God is not. But if your focus is external, if your focus is on what could go wrong, if your focus is on all the worry, doubt, and fear, you will not understand and feel where God is. You will be thinking about where God is not, according to the world's understanding. We say God is wherever you are. And that means in your worry, in your doubt, in your fear. You don't have to wait till those things subside. You go within and let the truth help you move through that and experience God for yourself. And this month's meditation, when it came to me, it blessed me. And so I knew it was the correct one to share with the community. I rest in the peace of God. I rest in the peace of God, no matter what is happening. My breath, my heartbeat, my whole being rests in the peace of God. And that means, as I said, there is no spot where God is not. And so that means that wherever you are in the moment, you get to rest in the peace of God. And so let us do just that. Let us prioritize our rest. Let us prioritize our understanding. Let us prioritize our experience of God as we rest in the peace of God. So go ahead and bring yourself to a comfortable, upright, seated position with your feet on the floor and with your palms on the tops of the thighs, not pressing into the thighs, just resting there. That's kind of giving you a signal what rest feels like. It's easy. Resting in the peace of God is not a strain. It's not a struggle. It's not something that you have to be more worthy of. You were born worthy of the peace of God. It came with you. And so as we place our palms on the tops of our thighs, we signal our body, we signal our nervous system a new way of interacting, a new way of being, that we get to rest. We get to relax our shoulders. We get to feel the seat beneath us and know that it is supporting us. And we get to rest in the peace of God. No matter what happened before this moment, no matter what happens after this moment, we have the tool, we have the opportunity, and we get to experience the peace of God for ourselves. So let's go ahead and allow our eyelids to gently close. That same subtle, easy movement, the way you placed your palms nice and easy on the tops of the thighs, that feeling of connection from palm to thigh, the same energy as the eyelids are closed, signals that we are going inward, and we get to rest on this knowingness that the peace of God is available right here and right now. Let's just notice how that feels. And let's begin to notice the breath right where it is. And when I say notice the breath right where it is, that means we make no judgment of where we thought the breath should be or how we think the breath should be moving. We just sit in gratitude that the breath is flowing and that each breath reminds us that we can rest in the peace of God. And without judgment, let us take our focus of attention and our breath and our awareness and this deep and true connection into the low belly. We're going to breathe in for a count of 4. We're going to hold for 4. We're going to exhale for 4. And then we're just going to sink deeper and deeper and deeper for 4. Let's begin. Inhale. Hold. Relax the jaw. Release any tension. Let your body find its natural place of relaxation as you sigh it out. And then follow that path of ease, of peace, of rest. In through the low belly, expanding, dropping the breath nice and deep. Hold for 4. Relax the jaw and release the sound and whatever tension or stress or strain, sigh it out. And as the sound trails off, sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the peace of God. In through the low belly, as we've dropped the breath nice and deep. Now let's allow the breath to rise as we expand the sides of the body. Hold for 4. Relax the jaw and sigh it out. Let yourself hear and feel the release. Starting to get that sensation of rest and relaxation, sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage. We've expanded the sides, sent breath into the rib cage. Let's send breath into the back and the front of the body. And now let's hold for 4. And without collapsing the body, release the breath, release the sound, sigh it out. Follow that path, knowing that you rest in the peace of God, sinking deeper into it and deeper and deeper. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage, now allowing that breath to rise to the heart chakra. We started off by dropping the breath nice and deep, signaling the nervous system it can relax. And now we allow that breath to connect and rise to the heart. Hold it there. Relax the jaw and sigh it out. Sinking deeper in mind, deeper in connection, and deeper in peace. One more time, in through the low belly, up through the rib cage, up through and to the heart. Hold when you reach the top. And when you're ready, relax the jaw, no strain. Sigh it out. Sinking deeper, following that path of ease, and remembering that you rest in the peace of God. Beautiful, everyone. Now, we're going to slow it down a little bit. Let's take advantage of this opportunity to connect, to remember where God is, to honor this time together, slowing it down as we inhale for a count of 6, hold for 6. And this time we're going to close the lips and exhale through the nostrils for 6, and then enjoy our rest for 6. Let's begin. Inhale. Hold with the lips closed. And sending that breath out through the nostrils for 6. There's less sound now. There's more feeling now. More ease now. And then sink deeper and deeper and deeper for 6. Go ahead and take a few rounds of this deep inhale and exhale through the nostrils, of the quieting of the body as it relaxes because it trusts that it can sink deeper into the peace of God now. Take a few rounds on your own. Beautiful, everyone. As we prepare for our silent time, go ahead and scan your body. And notice if there's any tension, any sensation that doesn't feel good to you in this moment. And send the breath there. Send love there. Send the peace of God there. If you notice any tension in the forehead or the temples or the shoulders, anywhere, in non-judgment and in love, breathe into it and relax, sinking deeper into the peace of God. I will monitor the time. You take the inward journey, and if the mind wanders, it's perfectly okay. It's just doing what the mind does. And you have the opportunity to bring it back to our affirmative thought and let the truth of those words wash over you as you sink deeper and deeper and deeper. I rest in the peace of God. You rest in the peace of God. We all rest in the peace of God now. With our eyelids still closed, we remember how good it feels on the inside. With our eyelids still closed, we honor this connection to Source that is available to us whenever we choose. So let's choose it more often. With our eyelids still closed, we bring back this good feeling. It doesn't have to stay behind. It can go wherever we go. And so we bring it back with us as we begin to slowly wake the body, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes, maybe elongating the breath, whatever feels good to you. And stop the movement. Bring the palms together at heart center. And lightly touch the thumbs into the sternum, that little bony ridge center of the chest. Feeling the radiating energy out from that center point, from that heart chakra, across the front and across the back of the body. And if you're able, bow the chin towards the fingertips. And notice, even in movement, our peace remains. Allow the eyelids to gently open. Nice soft gaze, no strain on the eyes. Inhale, raise the chin. Raise the gaze. Release the breath. Maintain the peace. Namaste.
Maintain the peace. Yes, yes. Thank you, PY.
You're welcome.
Remember, tomorrow is Meditation Monday, so you can come back to this meditation and any other meditation and use it in your own practice as you see fit. Well, we are continuing. This month is the third part of our three-part series, Miracle Minded, the 12 Conditions of a Miracle. And so we're going to continue with that series today. But of course, before we get into the message, we got to get into the music. So we're going to hear from Soul 21, and then I will be with you on the other side with today's message, Spirit Always Multiplies. I'll see you on the other side.
And so this song is a prayer to be used. Because if God can use anything, I know that God can use me. If God can use anything, I know God can use you. And all that is required is your receptivity to say, here I am, I'm available. Use me. There's a call for love. Everywhere we see out in the world, the injustice, the discrimination, the hatred, all of the foolishness, it's a call for love. And love can only be experienced in, through, and as each and every one of us. So we say yes to God as love to express through us. If you can use anything, you can use me. To encourage me. So I want to be used in the same way. Take my hands, Lord. Touch my heart.
Touch my heart, Lord, speak through me.
If you can use
You
anything,
can use anything, Lord, you can use me.
3 parts. If you can use anything,
You can use anything, Lord, you can use me.
I make myself available.
Use anything, Lord, you can use me.
I hear the call of love.
Take my hands, Lord, and my feet.
Touch my heart.
Touch my heart, Lord, speak through me.
You can use
Use
anything.
anything, Lord,
You can use me. We're going to sing that again, and feel free to join in. If you can use anything,
use anything, Lord, you can use me.
here I am. Here I am.
Use anything, Lord, you can use me.
The world needs so much love, so take my
Take
hands.
my hands, Lord, and my feet.
Touch my heart.
Touch my heart, Lord, speak through me.
You can use.
You can use anything, Lord.
We're going to stay right there. You can use anything.
You can use
Anything.
Lord, you can use me.
I make myself available.
Use anything, Lord, you can use
It
me.
just requires our yes. Take my hands and my feet.
Take my hands, Lord, and my feet.
Touch my heart.
Touch my heart, Lord, speak through me.
Take my hands.
Take my hands, Lord, and my feet.
Touch my heart.
Touch my heart, Lord, speak through me.
All that I
Take
am.
my hands, Lord, and
My
my
gifts,
feet.
my skills, my talents, my abilities. I bring them here right now. Right now.
My heart, Lord, speak.
Take my hands. Take my hands.
Take my
And
hands
my feet.
and my feet.
Touch my heart. Speak through me. I'm bringing all that I am. All that I have. I'm making it available. Oh, take me up. Take my hands.
Take my
And
hands
my feet.
and my feet.
Touch my heart. Oh, take my hands and my feet.
And my feet.
Touch my heart. Take me up. Take me up. Oh, I'm available. I'm available. Just as I am. Just as I am. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be added. But as I am, I'm available to be used by love, to be used for good, to be used for peace. I make myself available. You can use.
Anything, Lord, you can use me.
If you can use.
You can use anything, Lord, you can use me.
I invite you to just consider all of the things, all of the anythings that have been used in your life, all of the anythings that have spoken to you, all of the anythings that have encouraged you.
Lord, you can use.
You can be used in the very same way, in the very same way, in the very same way. Yeah. When you see what's going on in this world, and when it causes you dismay, when it causes you not to feel good, that's the call within you. The call for you as you are right now. Nothing needs to be added. But as you are right now, life is seeking to express through you, to be good through you, to be loved through you, to be peace through you, to be a loving word through you, to be an encouraging word through you, to be a demonstration, to be a lighthouse, pointing someone to the way that they too can be healed, that they too can be successful, that they too can change their lives, that they too can change their minds. Anything, anything, yeah. Oh.
Use anything, Lord, you can use me.
I make myself available. Here I am, just as I am.
Lord, you can use.
Here I am, just as I am. I make myself available. That's all that life ever asks. That's the only requirement. It's for you to bring yourself as you are and say, use me. If you can use anything, you can use anything. So it is. So it is. So it is.
Are you available today? Are you available today? The call for love is loud. It is consistent. But are you available? If you're available, I would love to just see in the comments right here and right now a yes, yes, I'm available, hearts, whatever, however you want to express that right now. Because we see what's happening in our world. We see what's happening in our lives. Every act of fear is a call for love. I'm always reminded of the brilliance of Stevie Wonder's song. They say that heaven is 10 zillion light years away. They keep asking me, where is your God? Right? And I say it's taken God so long because we've got so far to come, so far to go. So that which we want to see expressed in the world, that which we want to see expressed in our lives, the love, the peace, the equality, the justice, the inclusion, it can only happen in, through, and as us. If you are available today, again, let me see a yes, yes. If you are available today, let me see a heart. Let me see an affirmation of I am available. Use me, God. Use me, love. Use me, good. Yes, yes. Well, hello, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. It is so very good to be here with you on this Sunday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are, it is good. I would love for you all to join me in our centering prayer. And so I invite you to repeat these words after me. I welcome the spirit of truth into my mind and let it grow in my heart. Thank you, God, in, through, and as me. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. And so it is. Beautiful. I see those yes, yeses. I see those hearts coming in. I see that I am available. I am available today and always. Yes, yes. Well, as a review, last week we looked at the 9th condition of a miracle. And that 9th condition is act as if. And so I spoke to you from the topic, faith doesn't or does not pretend. Recognizing that acting as if is not about faking it until you make it. It's not about being fake or false, but there is a real action or activity that comes out of faith, that comes out of an absolute knowing, that comes out of a firm mind. A faithful mind, a firm mind is then a miracle mind. And I gave you that formula, the steps: think, visualize, feel, speak, write, and then we live. Right. And so that's the acting as if. We actually do something out in our lives and out in our world. Right. Again, it's not faking. In the same way that in this miracle story, Jesus breaks the bread. That wasn't pretend. That wasn't fake. It wasn't fake bread. Right. So we're not being false. We're not pretending. Today, we're talking about the 10th cycle. And Todd Michael in the 12 Conditions of a Miracle calls the 10th cycle, or condition rather, engaging the cycle. And so this is actually where the miracle happens. In the 12 Conditions of a Miracle, Todd Michael writes, as conditions 1 through 9 are established, energy flows towards the demonstrator. Right? So this is actually a beautiful one sentence that kind of starts to bring things together, right? We've been going through the conditions. And so as you begin to establish conditions 1 through 9, as you begin to practice, integrate, and make that the daily practice of your lives, then energy begins to flow towards you, the demonstrator, towards you, the miracle worker. And so what is the flow of energy that we've seen in this miracle story of the fish and the loaves? Well, first, remember, Jesus practices the first condition of emptiness when he goes away to the deserted place. Okay. And what happens? He attracts the crowd to him into that place. He does not turn the crowd away. What does he do? He begins to heal the sick. So then that was a flow to and a flow out. And then what happens? There's a boy who has fish and loaves. He gives that fish and loaves to the disciples. There's a flow from the boy to the disciples. What do the disciples do? They bring the fish and loaves to Jesus. There's a flow from the disciples who received and now flowing it to Jesus. And then what does Jesus do? Jesus blesses and breaks the loaves and then gives them to the disciples. He receives, he flows that right back to him. And then what do the disciples do? The disciples give the loaves and fish to the crowds. And so in the 12 conditions of a miracle, Todd Michael writes this: in the 10th step or 10th condition, the demonstrator causes the incoming flow to circle back so that it travels out and away from them. That he returns the food to the disciples and the disciples give it back to the crowd. This sets up a circular current, a cycle. The manifestation process, the manifestation process occurs while the energy is looping back. So this is why I said this is where the miracle happens, right? Sometimes we're not aware of what's actually happening when the answered prayer shows up. But we build this flow. We tap into this circuit, this circular cycle, and that's when the process occurs. So some of you may be thinking, okay, PG, I get it. Giving and receiving, it's a cycle, it's a circle. You talk about it all the time, every Sunday. And we already talked about giving as one of the conditions of a miracle. Yes, right? Isn't that one of the earlier conditions? It absolutely is. It's the 5th condition, giving. But to the extent that this 10th condition of engaging the cycle is pulled out as something different from Jesus showing compassion and healing the sick. That was where the principle of giving is demonstrated in that condition. This must be something more. This must be something else. And it absolutely is. So as we go further into this description, we read this from Todd Michael. When a circular current is established in conjunction with the other conditions of a miracle, I want to get that very clear, right? In conjunction with the conditions 1 through 9, right? This is important, right? That we're learning to live in and practice all of the conditions, right? And develop this as a way of being, a way of thinking, a way of seeing. So when you have developed this as a way of being and activated these conditions, then resources can actually multiply exponentially as they pass around the circuit. Seeds that are sown by a miracle worker can grow many times over to produce an enormous harvest. I put it this way, very simply: spirit always multiplies. Turn to your neighbor if you have a neighbor, or speak it out loud right here and now where you are. Spirit always multiplies. If it feels good to you and you want to remember it, put it down in your notes or type it right here and now in the comments. Spirit always multiplies. Just as we talked about in the very first sermon in this series, that spirit abhors a vacuum, just as you can be sure that spirit abhors a vacuum, when you live from and embody the conditions of a miracle, you can be sure that spirit always multiplies. Now, in the book, The 12 Conditions of a Miracle, Todd Michael in this chapter really writes about the what of this process. But I think you need to understand the how of this process. And in understanding how spirit multiplies, you will then begin to see your past miracles in a different light, and you will begin to engage and be able to engage the cycle, this circuit of manifestation to manifest new miracles easily, effortlessly, and elegantly, because spirit always multiplies. Now, the first thing that's important is that I'm using the word spirit, But spirit, of course, is just a name that points to something that really is beyond names. And so as we continue, I'm going to use spirit. I'm going to use consciousness. I might use source. I might use God. But they're one and the same. Spirit and consciousness are one and the same. And so you will definitely hear me use spirit and consciousness interchangeably, but I'm referring to the same thing. I can also call it God. I can also call it source. I can also call it the universe. And I want to say this about the universe. I love how Eric Butterworth names this in spiritual economics, because of course we know people use the universe all the time. Oh, the universe this and the universe that, right? But I don't know that they really know what they're talking about. I think some people think that when they're referring to the universe, they're still referring to that which is physical, right? It may be beyond all that we can see, and so it feels wider and higher. But of course, there is a manifested universe. But that's not what we're talking about when we say the universe. If we think of it in the metaphysical sense, what we're talking about, as Eric Butterworth clearly highlights and defines it, it's the whole body of things. So everything, right? Not just what we can see, but that is that which we can't see, taste, or touch. So you can use any of those names. Again, I'm going to be using spirit and consciousness in this message. But what is the thing? What is this thing that we're talking about? This thing, spirit, this thing, consciousness, it is the ground of all being. It is the thing that is referred to as Atman in the Vedas. It is unmanifest reality. It is called nothingness or not a thingness because it is not physical or material, thus it is not visible, right? But yet, while it is not physical or material, based on our physical and material sense, it is infinite fullness. Why? Because every possibility exists within it. And this is why in the Kabbalion, it is referred to as the all. It is allness. It is substance. It is life. It is intelligence. It is what I call the eternal omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence. And then that means that any attribute that we could ascribe to spirit, to consciousness, to God, to source, to the universe, it then is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. So then it's important for us to then understand the attributes of spirit and consciousness. First, consciousness or spirit is everywhere at all times. You heard me affirm it in the prayer. PY pulled it back in the meditation, and I'm pulling it back again in the sermon. There is no spot where God is not, right? Now, that's a wonderful, beautiful, familiar New Thought axiom that we hear and say and affirm all the time. And unfortunately, when we get to the point where things are just said all the time and it sounds good and it feels good, we tend to not really remember or know what it means or contemplate what that actually means. There is no spot where God is not means that consciousness and spirit is everywhere at all times. It is instantly simultaneous, right? Something that's impossible for us as humans to express, right? So it's impossible for us to understand, right? Instantly simultaneous. And because it is everywhere at all times, the other piece I said already, it is infinite fullness because every possibility exists within it. So consciousness or spirit is every possibility. So if it is everywhere at all times, every possibility exists everywhere at all times. It exists. It's not manifest, right, on the physical plane, but in the unmanifest, the non-physical plane, every possibility is. And so something I want to give you is a universal denial. Emma Curtis Hopkins teaches that there are 5 universal denials, and I just want to give you one of them. And that is this: there is no absence of life, intelligence, or substance. Now, see, this denial, the reason why we can use this, and what are denials about? Oftentimes we need to use a denial before we can affirm something or before we can praise something, because we need to essentially reject what it is that our five senses are showing us, right? We need to refuse and let go of that thing. Essentially, even forgiveness work is a denial, right? We're releasing something and creating that space for a new thought and a new reality. So when we say there is no absence of life, intelligence, or substance, what we're then doing is denying any experience or expression that seems to suggest that life, intelligence, or substance is absent. But why can we say that? Why are we not telling a lie? Because we understand the nature of spirit and consciousness, that it is everywhere at all times, and it is every possibility, which means every possibility is everywhere at all times. This is why, as we talked about the principle of maximizing, we recognize this is why Jesus, as the demonstrator in this story, was not moved or vexed by what seemed to be not enough with the fish and the loaves. Although the disciples said, we have nothing but, while the disciples were living in their onlyness consciousness, the miracle worker was not, because the miracle worker understood something to be true. That consciousness or spirit is everywhere at all times, that consciousness is every possibility. Therefore, every possibility is available everywhere at all times, because there is no absence of life, intelligence, or substance. Now, the other thing that's beautiful about consciousness, that's beautiful about spirit, is that it is self-interacting. If we look in the First Testament scripture, there's a name that's used for God that's familiar to, I'm sure, all of us, Yahweh. But what does that word actually mean? It means self-existing one, right? So I'm not referring to some new God, right? I'm not referring to something new. I'm just referring to the true understanding of it that has been misused, misplaced, misunderstood, sometimes disinformed, right? So that people don't understand the truth of their own power. Right? So Yahweh, God, source, spirit, consciousness, it is the self-existing one. It is self-interacting. All things come out of itself, right? And yet it never loses its own unity or union. Consciousness spirit gives rise to the multiplicity of our world and affairs. Now, consciousness, while it gives rise to the multiplicity and diversity of our world and affairs, it is simultaneously aware of itself as one and many. If you look on the back of your money, you'll see that motto here in the U.S., e pluribus unum, out of many, one. But the Latin that spirit or consciousness would speak would be ex uno multi, out of one, many. Ex uno multi. And so as we understand these attributes about spirit and about consciousness, now we can talk about how spirit and consciousness manifests, and then understand how this powerful miracle could ever be possible, and of course, how it can be possible in, through, and as your lives. In his book, Consciousness is All There Is, Dr. Tony Nader says something very specific about consciousness. He writes that nothing but consciousness emerges from consciousness. Now, remember, I already said that it is self-interacting. It is the self-existing one, right? And we know that all things come from and manifest from spirit, manifest from consciousness. But did you know that nothing but consciousness emerges from consciousness? And this is the good news. I believe this is the good news of New Thought, amongst many other things, right? This is the good news of metaphysics. No, this ends the lie of separation, right? This ends the lie of unworthiness. This ends the lie of sinfulness. This ends the misuse of the Garden of Eden story. Nothing but consciousness emerges from consciousness. That means that nothing but spirit emerges from spirit. That which appears not to be spirit is simply a matter of perspective. If you change your perspective, you will see that God, spirit, consciousness is all there is and all there will ever be. Nothing but spirit emerges from spirit. Nothing but consciousness emerges from consciousness. And we are one with spirit. We are one with consciousness. This is why we affirm this in prayer, because it is so easy to forget this. It is so easy to be lulled back into sleep, thinking that we are something other than consciousness, thinking that your sister, that your brother, that any other being is something other than consciousness, thinking that nature, our earth, is something other than consciousness, thinking it is something to be manipulated rather than ourselves. Now, this might be a radical idea, right? As I said, nothing but spirit emerges from spirit. And I said that that which appears not to be spirit is a matter of perspective. Change one's perspective and one will see that God's spirit consciousness is all there is and all that will ever be. That may seem radical, but let's just look in our physical world and we can know this to be true, right? We know this to be true about DNA, right? Now, none of us at this manifest plane, at this physical level of being can access or touch our DNA or look at it. But yet we know that humans have developed instruments that allow us to not only see and understand DNA, but to sequence it and understand all the wonderful things that we now know and are continuing to know about DNA. Now, on the surface, the diversity of human beings suggests that we are vastly different, right? We have, we present in so many different ways between height and weight and skin color, and our noses are different and our ears are different. And some of us need glasses, our eyes are different. Some of us don't. Some of us have hair, some of us don't have hair, right? We could go on and just name all the different things, right? As we look across humanity, there's all of these different differences, right? But at the DNA level, depending on which study or method you cite, human beings are 99.95 to 99.99% alike at the DNA level. What does that mean? That means that all that we see on this visible level that is clearly different, right? Clearly diverse, right? Clearly. And that's beautiful. That's part of life, right? That's wonderful, right? That's an expression of the multiplicity that we're talking about. This spirit always multiplies. But all of those differences on the surface are just represented by a minuscule 0.01 or 0.05%. That's like mind-blowing if you sit with it for a second. And yet we know that that is true. Right? We know that that is absolutely true. So again, that's about changing perspective. If I just use my physical eyes, that can't be true, right? But when I shift my perspective, when I shift my lens, it is obviously true, right? So it is the same, right? That which appears to be different is a matter of perspective. That which appears not to be spirit is a matter of perspective. Change one's perspective and one will see that God, spirit, consciousness is all there is and all there will ever be. Nothing emerges from consciousness but consciousness. Nothing emerges from spirit but spirit. So again, I want to remind you of that universal denial. There is no absence of life, intelligence, or substance. Because this is where this denial becomes very important with any miracle that we are seeking to express. Right? And miracle doesn't mean that it has to be fantastic, that it has to be some big thing like you're feeding thousands of people, right? It is simply that manifestation which is desired by you in any given moment. So now, if all is spirit and there is no absence of life, intelligence, or substance, if nothing emerges from spirit but spirit, then that would suggest to me that the bread being passed from the boy to the disciples, and then from the disciples to Jesus, and from Jesus back to the disciples, and from the disciples to the people, is not bread. Hold on, I'm going to give you a moment. I want you to take a breath on that. Because when you get this, you've gotten some power. If nothing emerges from spirit but spirit, and so all that emerges and manifests on this physical plane is a manifestation of spirit. That means that the bread that was passed from the boy to the disciples to Jesus, Jesus back to the disciples, and then to the crowd or to the people is not bread. Well, what is it? It's consciousness expressing as bread. Take a breath. Some of you already see it. Somebody wants to run around the room right now as they're starting to realize something about their own lives. Somebody wants to run around the room right now as you start to realize something about your own challenges and circumstances and opportunities. This means that the fish are not fish. It's consciousness expressing as fish. Your body is not your body. It is consciousness expressing as your body. Your business is not a business. It is consciousness expressing as your business. Your money is not money. It is consciousness expressing as money. What else did I share earlier about consciousness? I said it is everywhere at all times, and it is every possibility. Therefore, every possibility exists everywhere at all times in the unmanifest. See, in the unmanifest, at the level of consciousness, every soul in this miracle story already possessed more than enough food to eat and enough to spare. The miracle is not a creation or manifestation of something that did not exist. The miracle simply makes visible what was previously invisible or imperceptible to the human five-sense experience of the world. I want to say that again. I want you to get it. In the unmanifest, at the level of consciousness, every soul already possessed more than enough food to eat and enough to spare. Not in the physical. We're clear what the physical eyes showed. We're clear what the disciples said. The hour is getting late. Jesus, why don't we send these people away into the nearby town so they can go buy some food at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's? The miracle is not, or any miracle, it is not a creation or manifestation of something that does not exist. This is critical. The miracle makes visible what was previously invisible or imperceptible to the human five-sense experience of the world. Close your eyes and take this in. Everybody, please close your eyes and take this in. As a miracle worker, when you close your eyes to the eternal, right? We talked about that visualization. We talked about in the sermon, see something better. When you close your eyes to the eternal and see something better, visualize and imagine your good, your desired outcome you are seeing already is in consciousness. You could not see it if it did not exist in consciousness. It would be impossible. Every possibility exists in consciousness. Every possibility. You could not see it in your mind's eye. You could not envision it in the picture of your mind. You could not visualize or imagine it if it did not already exist in consciousness. You can open your eyes. So then Jesus, when we have that moment, that see something better moment, what Jesus did was he saw the people fed because that is a reality in consciousness. It wasn't even that he was being so deep or better than anybody else, right? He saw the people fed because that was true at the level of consciousness. And remember, in practicing that first condition of emptiness, that's where he was living, moving, and having his being. That's where he anchored himself. That's why we live, move, and have our being in that space, right? To tap into that transcendent space, which is the level of consciousness, and we bring that out and that awareness into the world, into our lives, so that then when we need to see something better, we can see the reality that already is in consciousness. The key to your miracle is to know that it is impossible to imagine or visualize what does not already exist in consciousness. The conditions first change the consciousness of you, the miracle worker. And then the consciousness of a miracle worker is energetic, it's influential, it's inspirational. I love that word, inspire. It means God breathed. It comes from within. It's the opposite of motivational. The consciousness of a miracle worker is energetic, influential, and inspirational. And this influence also changes the consciousness of others. Sometimes that consciousness, that change is temporary. Other times it's permanent. But this is what we call, in the Kabbalion and the principle of vibration, it talks about this. This is what we call induction. And it is the process by which spiritual mind treatment works, affirmative prayer, as we teach here in New Thought. But it's important to understand that this is not manipulation or taking over somebody's mind. Because if you think about it for a second, we've all had the experience of being uplifted simply by being in someone's presence. We've all had the experience, and I know that as you come to CSC, just being connected to this live stream, right? There's an energy, there's an absolute knowing that PY and I polarize ourselves at, right? That uplifts your heart and mind, regardless of where you were or what you were feeling. Now, sometimes it's only for the hour and 30 minutes of this live stream, and you go back to whatever your vibration or mental state was, right? Other times you hold it, and through your own practice, you will continue to hold it, right? That's why we're always pointing you back to yourself. We also recognize that the reverse is true. We've all been in the presence of folks that as we get in their presence and their vibration does what? It influences us, and we don't feel good just being around them. Yes, yes? So this is not about manipulation, and that's why even the whole dialogue around energy vampires is misguided, right? Because it really doesn't have to be that someone is trying to manipulate you, right? But it could possibly be that you do not yet understand the power of vibration, and that you can vibrate wherever you choose to vibrate, and then not be influenced by the vibrations of anything or anyone else, except that vibration is in alignment with love, in alignment with truth, in alignment with that which is beneficial, in alignment with that which is constructive, in alignment with good. So I want to come back to something that I just said earlier. The miracle simply makes visible what was previously invisible or imperceptible to the five sense experience of the world. In the well-known and often quoted verse on faith, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, that's Hebrews 1. The second part of that verse is not often quoted or even very well known, but it's something that I come back to often and often again because it directly applies to this understanding of consciousness. Hebrews 3, I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version, says, "By faith we understand that the worlds were prepared by the word of God, so that what is seen was made from things that are not visible." Now, first, when we read by the word of God, this is not the Bible, right? The writer of this text is not saying, by faith, we understand that the worlds were prepared by what's written in the Bible. First of all, the world existed before there ever was a collection of texts called the Bible, so that wouldn't make sense, right? Let's just use our good sense, right? Let's use our good minds. But what is it talking about? Right? This verse is, of course, speaking to spirit or consciousness, as I have already discussed and described it. That thing which it says made from things that are not visible, right? Consciousness, spirit, is that thing which is not visible. And then as the not visible becomes visible, this is what we talked about in the Blessing is Your Blessing sermon. Because I broke down this formula from Genesis 1, let there be, and it was so, and God saw it was good. That's the word of God that the writer is speaking to. And what did I say about that last part, and God saw it was good? It's not that God reflected and was like, look at me, I can create stuff. My stuff is bad. That's not what it was. God saw it was good. In other words, God called it good because I've created it and I've decided what it shall be. Right? Very important. That's why there's a blessing in your blessing, right? You must bless the thing that you see in your mind, and you must call it good. So now here's the really, really deep, strap in, the really deep part about how the miracle unfolds and how a miracle like this could unfold and how a miracle like this does unfold. And many, many people have had what they would describe, and I would describe as a fish and loaves moment. The miracle and many miracles, for that matter, appear to be instant. But is that possible? Is an instant miracle possible? Based on the reading of the story, the reading of the text, it was instant, right? Jesus blessed and broke the bread, passed it to the disciples, and the disciples began to hand it out to the people, right? So let's talk about something in terms of our physical universe, right? Our physical universe has fixed laws. We know about these fixed laws. Science, tells us about all these things. And of course, we spent some time in school and, learned about all those things. It's important. One of those fixed laws is related to speed. And this is going to help us to understand if an instant miracle is possible. Now, in our fixed physical universe, the speed of light is the limit. What is the speed of light? The speed of light is measured at 186,000 miles per second in a vacuum. And that's how scientists always describe it. Now, why is it in a vacuum? Because what that means is there's no interference, right? Light, the speed of light is different, a little slower if it has to go through things or go around things. That's going to slow it down a little bit. And we understand that, right? If you were to take that number and push it out to miles per hour, that would be over 11 million miles per hour, right? With no interference. Needless to say, the speed of light is really, 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 really fast. Right? It's so fast that we can't even perceive it, right? As human beings. And in comparison, to just understand how fast the speed of light is, the speed of sound travels without interference 761 miles per hour. Sound travels quickly, right? I mean, think about it. When we have a conversation, it's instant, right? What you hear from me, what I hear from you, right? It's like boom, boom, boom. We're in real time. But sound actually travels, right? From all of the things that create the sound and the air, the things and the vocal cords, for it to then come out, right? It travels. And so needless to say, this limit of our physical universe of the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second in a vacuum or over 11 million miles per hour, is very, very fast. And so the speed of light, if that's the limit of our physical universe, this would mean then, Lord have mercy, this feels so good to me, that the fastest or quickest a miracle or manifestation could ever happen is at the speed of light. And what did I just say about the speed of light? We understand that light travels so fast, even sound travels so fast from our human perspective that we can't see it travel, and it feels and appears to be instant. You see where I'm going with this? What appears to be instant is a matter of perspective. There are many things in our world that appear to happen instantly, but when we slow them down, or if we just contemplate it for a moment, we can identify that there was a beginning, middle, and end. It's one of the things that's so beautiful that we can film things, right? And so you can film something and then slow it down, right? And you can see that, oh, wow, what was a flash, or I didn't even see it. You slow it down and it's like, oh, wow, I see it enter the frame. I see it hit the middle of the frame and I see it go out the frame. But when I speed it back up to regular speed, it's just a flash and I don't even know what it is, or I may not even see it pass at all. What appears to be instant always has a beginning, middle, and end, even if it is imperceptible to our human awareness. Knowing this, then we can let go of superstitious ideas about God's timing. Knowing this, we can let go of superstitious ideas about God delaying. Because if God is limited, if we want to even dare to speak in that way, God is limited, air quotes, by two things: the speed of light and interference. Now, I just said the speed of light is over 11 million miles per hour. Something that is beyond instant to our human perception. So from our human perception, there is no limit because God works and can work as fast as the speed of light. But what limits or what stops? An instant miracle or manifestation at the speed of light can only be interference. This effectively means that spirit, God, source, consciousness is unlimited in our time-space reality to the extent that we take the limits off of God. God is only limited by the limits that I place on God. That's the interference. God is only limited by the limits that I placed on what's possible for me. That's interference. God is only limited by the limits that I place on what is possible for you. God is only limited by the limits I place on myself when I say I am sinless and unworthy. God is only limited by the limits that I place on myself when I say that I am full of guilt and full of shame. God is only limited by the limits that I place on the world when I say that something is wrong with this world, that this world is problematic, that this world is hell. God is only limited by the limits that I place on it. That is the interference. But in truth, God operates at a speed that is beyond instant when we think of how we perceive time and space. So if you want to understand how a miracle can be instant, how this is not just a fictional story that could never happen and doesn't happen. Again, I've lived fish and loaves experiences with food and with other things. What appears to be instant is never instant. It reminds me, I was thinking of this as well. I didn't put it in my notes. That notion of an overnight success. We all know that that's foolishness. We all know that that's not true. There's no such thing as an overnight success. And yet sometimes it feels that way, right? Like because of the limits of our perception, it seems like this person just popped on the scene and now they're like the most famous person on the planet. But there's no such thing as an overnight success. And so this miracle, which appeared to be instant, has a beginning, middle, and end. And I'm not just talking about the conditions. I'm saying in the passing out, there was a beginning, middle, and end that to the human perception was experienced as instant. It may have been at the speed of light or something below that, somewhere between the speed of sound and the speed of light. And so that's why it's experienced as instant, but there was a manifestation of it from the unmanifest into the manifest world. So are you starting to see how all the conditions work together to create a condition in your mind as a miracle worker, which then manifests as miracles and answered prayers? See, spirit always multiplies. That's one of the beautiful things about how it works. When spirit shows up, manifests. I don't mean show up like we used to talk about in the old church, like God showing up. I'm saying when spirit manifests, when consciousness manifests, it knows nothing other than multiplicity. That's the other reason why Jesus wasn't deterred by the thousands of people that may have been there, right? We don't know in that way because it's become a tall tale, thousands of people, men plus women and children. So it might have been 5,000, it might have been 6,000 people. Because spirit always multiplies. This is how it works. It doesn't just manifest one planet. It doesn't just manifest one galaxy. It doesn't just manifest one human. It doesn't just manifest one type of flower. It multiplies, always. And so I was reminded of a story, something that I experienced. This was during the first year of CSC. And we just spoke the name of this beautiful soul recently. PY and I, we were having a conversation about her. Back in 2013, we had a very interesting experience. One of our neighbor who lives across the hall from us, died by suicide. And it was very tragic. All of us who live on this floor were very troubled by that. And it kind of brought us all close together. And, we memorialized her together and that was beautiful. But I remember after hearing the news of her transition and her death by suicide, I was at work that day, and I remember seeing on social media there was a a young black sister who was a content creator, an influencer, beauty influencer, was very popular. Had all of these followers and views and things. She died by suicide. And I was like, wow, this is just awful, to hear this news, somebody I know and then somebody I don't know, but seeing the impact she had and seeing how so many people were really dismayed and really sad at the news of her passing. And then my best friend sent me a text not long after that, telling me about one of her sorority sisters who died by suicide, and they'd just gotten the news and everyone was devastated. And it was just a terrible moment. And I found myself in that moment starting to go to that space that so many of us go to, like, oh no, what is happening? This doesn't make any sense. Why is there all this death? Why is there all this suicide? And it shouldn't be this way. And I'm just feeling bad. I'm feeling terrible. And so I decided, I was like, you know what, let me leave the office. Let me take a walk. I'll walk to a place that I love to eat for lunch. And as I was in that moment of deciding to take a walk to shift, I was thinking about this reality of consciousness, right? This reality that every possibility exists everywhere at all times. And so while I am seeing and experiencing this existence of 3 deaths by suicide, I know that there is also life. And I began to say within myself, I need to see life. I need to see life. And I found myself, as I was saying, I need to see life, I began to speak it out from my mouth as I'm walking down the street and crossing Atlantic Avenue. I need to see life. I need to see life. And as I crossed Atlantic Avenue and was walking, I believe it was 6th Avenue, I was walking down, there was a woman behind me. I could hear her because she was on her phone. Sorry. And that was whatever, right? That's normal. And I'm just continuing to walk, but I hear her and something within me said, look back. And I was like, why am I going to look back? Like, she's going to think I'm some creepy dude, or like, I'm not looking back at this woman. I kept walking and again saying, I need to see life. I need to see life. But something said, look back, look back. I turned around and looked at the woman and I saw that she was pregnant. And I said, Spirit, I see you. Consciousness, I see you. I said, need to see life. And something within me said, look behind you. And there I saw life. I saw this woman carrying new life. And that began to shift me in a profound way. And I went on my way and walked up Flatbush Avenue. And as I got to the place where I wanted to eat, I opened the door, and what do I see standing there at the cash register? As the person paying for their food, it was another woman. She was pregnant. And then I laughed because I said, Spirit, I see you. I need to see life. Need to see life. Okay. So then I get in line and I place my order and I get my food. I pay for my food, and I decided to sit by the window so that I could people watch. And as I sat there in the window, and it's the kind of seating where it's a long table, so you're facing the window and facing out, not just the window to the side. And I'm sitting there and I'm people watching. And as I sat there, pregnant woman after pregnant woman after pregnant woman after pregnant woman after pregnant woman began to walk by and walk by. Because I said, I need to see life. I understand the truth of this. That consciousness is everywhere and every possibility exists, and spirit always multiplies. And it would not have been consciousness in truth if I had just seen the one, because consciousness always multiplies. It expresses in multiples. And so, of course, that time, that hour that I sat there at lunch, I began to see life, 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 new life, new life, new life, new life. Spirit is everywhere at all times. It is omnipresence. It is the eternal omni. Every attribute of spirit is everywhere at all times. Every possibility is present in potential at all times. But the multiplicity is always at rest. As the miracle worker, you call forth your desired possibility, and it manifests at the speed of light. What appears to be instant from the human perception. And because spirit always multiplies, you will always have plenty and enough to spare. Anything else ain't spirit. This is why a lot of the wonderful things that humans have demonstrated and manifested are not actually of spirit, right? Or from spirit in truth. Why? Because, for instance, we've manifested the ability to travel, quickly through planes and cars, but then we're polluting the planet and we might destroy ourselves in the process. You see what I'm saying? And this is how we know that these ideas are coming from the level of consciousness, right? Where humans are creating from the level of physicality. And so then it comes with all of these unwanted things. When it's coming from spirit consciousness, there is always multiples. There's plenty and enough to spare, and enough to spare, and enough to spare. And so for this truth, I am so very grateful. And to this truth, I say amen, ashe, and so it is.
Spirit always multiplies.
Yes, yes.
I see from your comments that many of you realize that there's so much in this message for you to come back to. And you also notice the joy in PG delivering the message. Spirit always multiplies. I love that part where it's miracles, how they travel, and they're only slowed down by your resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that when you're in the process of watching and demonstrating miracles. It's only slowed down by your resistance, your fear, your doubt, your worry. Mm-hmm. But the miracles keep multiplying if you're looking in that direction. Please come back to this message. There is so much good stuff here.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, PG.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And of course, I'm excited as we continue to move forward next week. But of course, in this moment, it is time for giving. Giving is a spiritual practice. And as we give, we receive. We know this truth of giving. We know that it works. But why does it work? Because we recognize that our giving is based on our thinking. Mm-hmm. We're not operating from material sense. We're not operating from physical sense, right? That's manipulation. I give $100 so I can get, 100 is 10%. So I'm giving that 100 so I can get 10,000. I'm giving so I can get 100,000, right? That's manipulation, right? The beautiful thing is that we give so that we can receive whatever it is we need to receive in the moment. Right? Sometimes what you need to receive is grace from another person, right? Sometimes what you need to receive is somebody pushing you up to the front of the line, right? Sometimes you need to receive, you didn't have all the right paperwork, but somebody just says, it's all good. Go ahead anyway, right? Right? Sometimes you need to just receive a message that we just paid off your bill, right? So it's not a one-to-one. It's the consciousness behind the giving. I recognize that as I give, I receive all the good, mm-hmm. multiplied over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm giving from my recognition that there is one source that I give from, and there's one source that gives to me, and that source is unending. And that source is absolutely loving. And that source judges me not, right? That source is not a source of shame. And so as I give, I receive. Now, it's very easy to give to CSC. You can see the information here on your screen. You can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/give. You can text your dollar amount to 347-744-9500. You can download the Church Center app and give in the Church Center app. And if you want to use Apple Pay, you can use Apple Pay there in the Church Center app. Whichever means that you choose to give, you can also give via check, right? And mail that in. Whatever means you choose to give, that's all good. That's your business. But it's important. What we're concerned about is the thinking behind your giving so that you can experience the blessing of your giving. And when you live from that place and give from that place, then you can absolutely affirm this truth. All the money that I circulate
All the money that I circulate
returns to me multiplied
returns to me multiplied
in a never-ending cycle
in a never-ending cycle
of increase
and
enjoyment.
And enjoyment.
To that we say amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
So it is.
So it is. Yes, yes. Well, we have come to the conclusion of the weekend service today. We indeed are leaving here better and better and better than when we walked in. We are indeed leaving here enlightened, enlivened, prospered, and prospering. Now go forth and prosper in your life and prosper others. And we look forward to you joining us on Wednesday for the Momentum Prayer Call. And then we will be back together next Sunday, third Sunday, God Talk Sunday. Make sure you put that in your calendar to be there with us. I just have a feeling. It's not prophetic. It's always good.
It's always good.
Right? So I just know the God Talk is going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And each and every one of us that show up there, we leave changed. And so I look forward to the transformation that occurs in that wonderful, loving space. Have an amazing week on purpose, with purpose. And we will see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye for now.